Cheers. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, y'all. So I'm doing this one for some advice. We just got out of the shower maybe an hour and a half ago, and his hair is drying. Still got a little fuzz in it, pillow fuzz. But so his hair looks cool when it's wet or when it's greased. Once it dries up, it wants to tangle. And I have this thing where I really don't want to cut his hair, but somebody told me that if I cut it now, it will actually get stronger. So I'm thinking if I cut it now, maybe it won't wrap up so tight. And then we've got some hair ties, and I can start putting hair ties in his hair, keeping it tied up in a ponytail kind of thing. So I'm trying to get your advice on it. And we're going to go to, I made an executive decision. We're going to pull-ups. We're actually going to go to underwear and plastic pants the next couple of days. And we're not doing bottles except for sleeping time. So we're going to go back to solid food. I think it's the milk that's got the fat on him. And the fact that he's always got a bottle. So we're going to start dropping the bottles. We're having that fight right now. That a bottle is I want a bottle, please. Say it. You want a bottle? Say it. Say it. Yes. And I hear it day and night. I'm woken up several times a night with it and hear it during the day and stuff. And we're just going to... I've been doing water bottles part of the time, but she doesn't. We're going to make that happen. So he's got chicken and corn, on his tray. I blinked and he got his own ketchup. So he's going to eat his plate. Yes, he is. Yes, you are.
But you know I'm a Republican, right?
Got my crusty looking foot in there. I don't have an arch, so I have really odd shaped feet. Excuse my feet. You guys can pray for the hips and stuff now too. It's just some stuff is feeling sore and it's winter and stuff like that. I get that. Just praying for a lot of stuff. Hey! So he's going in the back. Say bye-bye! Say bye-bye. So we're cleaning out our truck. I think I'm going to... I've asked the insurance agent if he can total the truck so we can pay it off. And what I've seen in the past is someone got it totaled and was able to keep it. So I'd like to try for that, or else I'm just going to remove that whole payment from my life. I owe like $2,000 on it. But things are just moving slow. We ended up with a $200 electrical bill the other day, this month. I don't know if you guys want to hear all of our details. Our bill comes on the 15th, and our next payment, when we next get paid, is on the 6th. So we've always been like a week and a half behind. They decided that since we were a week behind, we owed them $200 extra as a deposit. Got that taken care of. Got it all worked out. We're going to auto pay them from our card, that kind of thing. And now they actually owe us $2. But it took a $200 payment and kind of wiped out our slush for the month. And did some things. Really working now to just get all of our little business things paying, just moving. Still fasting through the day, so I'm sun up to sundown. Pretty much, I'm not eating, just staying in prayer, staying in the Word. Then right now we're getting up at like 3 in the morning, having a breakfast that's like everybody else's dinner, going through our day till late afternoon, and then going in. But it's kind of cool. We spend a lot of time together, and we're really growing. I'm hiding my fat gut back here behind the camera, and I realize that we've both been putting on our winter weight together. We're going to call it winter weight. I think that in the next week we're going to go ahead and go back to we have like this is Netflix on the television. We can play our YouTube, our Netflix, a couple other things on here. I think we're going to get the PureFlix. I think I told you guys about that. And there's one other thing that we're subscribed to. Oh, I'm a Amazon Prime subscriber, so we get Prime videos on here. We're going to find some music, some workout soundtrack or something, and probably just start jogging in place in the morning or doing some stretching or something. Really get that into our day. Got the cord up for the internet, so it's going up along the wall, back to the back where the router is. And that's a whole lot better. not as big of a pile. The mat down there on the floor is from the truck. So we cleaned everything out of the truck and have it in bags and bring the bags in one at a time and sorting the stuff where they belong. So we're going to have a little bit more mess for a bit, and then that's going to thin out. He's figured out how to take... Oh, that's one of his toys. He has his little scooter, which is his one ride-on toy I keep in the house because it'll keep him... He'll stay occupied to scoot through the house. But he's learned to turn it on its side and stand on it. Kind of Buffalo Bill kind of thing, and stand in front of the TV or whatever. We're doing a lot of... Okay, so we were doing Treat Your TV. Then we went over to one that I didn't like so much because it was really risque. It was a few penguins that were doing a lot of modern dance, and it just went too far from me. So then we went to Superbook, but we've gone through pretty much everything I can find online about Superbook. So now we're on to Joshua, quiet. It's not about you. Now we're going on to what do you watch every day now? VeggieTales. And VeggieTales is a faith-based program. In fact, years ago, before I left Sacramento, I worked with a guy on a program who was one of the voiceover guys. We were working on something else, and we were laughing at him because he always had to leave to go do his voice classes, and he was going to do something called VeggieTales, and we were laughing about it. Well, here it is. And I think his name was Phil. I can't remember his name. He lived up in by Sausalito, up by San Quentin on the other side. Anyway, it's funny how everything is coming around in a circle. Good friends who I haven't seen in a long time are coming in contact. Love you all. It's good to be just connected with people, to feel alive more again. And that's growing on us more each day. Okay, buddy, say bye-bye. Over here. Hey, you, over here. There you go. You say bye? You say night-night? Can you give kisses? Yeah. So we got this thing where he gets a kiss a day, and I tell him every day that I love him. Hey, have I told you today that I love you? The pastor down in San Luis Obispo used to do that. I'm not sure where he got it from.
Thank you so much.
There's just a 5-minute stop, look you in the eye and remind you. Didn't get that. I want to make sure that I give that. There was something else. Excuse me, my little emotional thing there. So we started that one really early. He was like maybe 7 months when he got some of that. There's a lot of little, hey, I'm in here noises. Okay, now he's crawling up on my fat. So that's his shoulder. You got your face? You got your face? Got your face. Ah! I got your nose. I got your nose. Get your eyes. Okay. Say bye-bye. So yesterday he was standing behind the TV with a bottle in his mouth. He's going out of the corner of the bottle, and yeah. And it was one of those, hey, do you see me? Are you paying attention to me? And I was busy posting ads. It wasn't really, and I realized the sound, and I realized he was trying to say, hey, I'm not getting enough attention. So he's getting attention. No bottles. No bottles. So we're in size 6 diapers, and his urine is getting strong now. Suddenly he's not an infant urine anymore. He's bigger. Gotta finish washing the pillowcases. Give me a hand. Give me a hand. Give me your hand. Hand. Ah, I saved him from a sink. There's a sinking hole actually there, or a soft spot. We have a futon that we're sleeping on. It's got a metal frame, and different parts of the frame have given up the ghost. We got a little igloo on that corner and an ice chest on this corner holding it up, and I can get a better bed, but this one came with the place and I'm not ready to mess with it yet. We just put our picture up on the wall and we're doing little insulation things. Got curtains in back there finally in the kitchen. So the house is warmer. Got my little fan up on the shelf. Excuse all my junk. So the fan shelf is one of my shelves. The one below it is his book miscellaneous shelf. And I think we went through that once. We got some pretty wild stuff in here. Finally got my $200 fishing pole out of the car. It was in the truck, and then it was sitting outside in the extra car. Really learned a lot of lessons this year. Won't get stuck as much as I have this year again. And just really kind of stuff to get out. So again, on the thing about giving the other day, we had the $14, which we just sewed into a ministry. Bill Winston is one of them, who has really been teaching me for years. So I actually listened to him sitting on a crate outside my tent in a really bad part of my life. And it's brought me indoors at least, and got me focused back on doing business again. So we gave them that along with a couple of verses that we have about him multiplying our seeds sown. And then the next day, $140 comes out of nowhere. Our card for U-Haul that they were paying us on for our moves started acting up, and U-Haul kept saying, "Hey, we know those cards are acting up. Sorry, you're not getting paid on them." Checked out the card, and it had 10 times as much. So I went ahead and sewed that same place, and I'm telling these things so that you who are watching this are a witness to what God is doing in our life. He has promised, and we believe that no cords. That's where I plug in my phone when I'm sleeping. We know and believe that He is fulfilling His word, and that He's going to bring that back 100-fold. So that's kind of the option 2 for the truck. Just when it comes back, paying off the truck and sewing the rest again. We're just gonna. Someone said you cannot give God. I've had a few ministers tell me that who were doing well, and we're looking for that. Sowing into good places, good ground, as we've been taught to do, because it's time to make the changes and come out of our life. I don't know if I've shared with you guys my visions for life. We're in 12 minutes here. One of them is, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Mercy Ships. I encourage you to look that up, Mercy Ships. I think it's .org. They're an international ministry, but what they do is they're floating hospitals. They're going to really bad places where kids are malnourished, so they have eye disorders and leg disorders and stuff like that, and they do surgery. They actually just have volunteer doctors and medical people who come along and help them out. So something like that has been part of my dream for a long time, about transporting materials to places where they need it. Maybe having somebody paying for the transport while what is it? Ministries and orphanages receive their transport for free. I have a vision about doing an orphanage in the Philippines and maybe one in Africa and some other things. So I found a ship today, another one. It kind of fit my idea. It's called the SS America. It's been through a lot of stuff. It's the right size. It's designed for the international transport, but it's older and slow. It's built in 1953. So just speaking that, it's been handed around to a bunch of different people, but really see that as a good transport opportunity. I know a guy up in, actually know a couple of companies. One of them is in Washington, one is in Oregon, that do refits, and believing that we're going to just keep sewing and get to the place where we're able to do this. I'm really looking at my visions again. And seeing, whoa, his face does not look that red off the camera. Hey, let's say, dude. I'm not giving you a bottle. You have to go eat your food. No bottle. No bottle. No bottle. No bottle. No bottle. No bottle. Go eat your chicken. It's not time for a nap. We're like 5 hours from a nap. 4 hours from a nap. But he will cry himself into sleep now. This black stuff is part of my massage chair. While we were gone, the dog was scratching the cover off of my massage chair. The fake leather, so there's a little black flakes all over the house. Not as bad as it was. We got most of it up. But it shows up. Ooh, you got fat stomach. Big fat stomach. Big fat stomach. Big fat stomach. And he looks more yellow off the camera. Autofocus is on. Let's go lighting. Yeah, he looks more like that to me. Off the camera. The reds are more dark. Anyway, we did that. We did looking at Dexter's, which was one of my visions also. USAID is the company that America is supposed to, it's United States aid to something farmers in third world countries. They're supposed to go in and teach sustainable farming. They don't. They go in and teach them how to be addicted to chemicals. I've been following what's called the ALBC, which is the American Livestock Breeders Conservancy, for a long time, which has heirloom breeds of animals, the type that were used prior to World War I that lived on their own. They didn't require grain feed or a lot of mechanics, or you didn't have to be a truck driver to own a farm. It was simpler. One of my favorites is the Dexter cattle. It's if you ever look at like old movies, the black and whites of the people in the wagons coming across the country, the cow in front with the horns was usually a Dexter, which even the females are horned. But you can milk them for like 5 years straight, is what they did back then. Now it's like a year at a time, but it's pure milk. Just really clean animals, really good. They're half the size of regular, what is regular now. And just seeing these things, reliving the vision, bringing it before him, seeing that I'm ready. I also found a minister. She's on XP Media, and I listened to one of their soundtracks off and on while sleeping. Those are wipes. Are those the other wipes? What? Joseph, are those the other wipes? What? And this woman had been in prison. And she was talking about what it was like and coming home and stuff. And I remember, when I ran the recovery house in San Luis Obispo, which is actually a halfway house, it's because they don't have them there, and helping prisoners get settled back into normal life. I really want to do that as a ministry again as well. And all of these other things, I see great opportunities for jobs or to train for jobs for this underserved population, and I'd love to do that. Anyway, that's all the stuff in my head. And just could use your prayer. That's it. I guess my brain is done. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Say bye-bye. Like you mean
Bye.
it. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. I got my finger here. Look at the camera. Say bye-bye. Okay, bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Dinner.
Thank you. What's the other word you say now?
Bye.
Okay.